check out this super easy and quick stuffed squash recipe that is vegan and it's gluten-free too. So it's perfect as a meat substitute for those traditional family gatherings. It's great as a main for an everyday meal, and it even also works as a side dish too. For today's ingredients, what we're using 2 baby squash that we're going to chop in half and scoop out the seeds. And this is a pre-made pasta sauce from the supermarket, so don't tell anyone, but this is the quickest and easiest way to make this recipe. If you prefer to make your own, then please check out my simple tomato sauce recipe on my site. But this recipe, just check 2 things. Firstly, that it is vegan and gluten-free, and also that you've had it before and so you know it tastes well. Got some chopped parsley, some chopped mushrooms, and then to liven up the dish, we've got a little bit of vegan butter and a little bit of vegan cheese to put on the top. Now, just obviously add some salt and pepper and maybe a little bit of garlic powder if you feel like you need it, and that really depends on how good your sauce is. Okay, so we're just going to cut this squash in half, mind your fingers. And then we're going to just, using a small knife, go around the inside part. So now we've cut them in half, we're just going to scoop out the seeds and the membrane, which leaves us a little bowl shape there for when we put our filling in. And then we'll just do it with the next one too. Now, once you've cut them in half, if you find that your squash isn't standing up properly, what you can do is you can just cut off here, just a bit at the bottom, and then it should stand perfectly. So I'm just brushing them with a bit of oil before they go into the oven. And then once you've done that, then you can just add sprinkle some salt and or pepper if you like over it. And if you've got a few chili flakes, and you like it a little bit spicy or guest stars, you can add those too. So now we've put salt and oil and pepper on them, they're ready to go in the oven. It will take about anywhere between 15-20 minutes, sometimes even half an hour, depending on the size of your squash. So firstly, we've got the pan hot, and then we're going to add some mushrooms into a dry frying pan and then just spread them out so they're not crowded. And what happens is these, by cooking it in a dry frying pan, these cook really well and they also go a little bit crispy too. Okay, so you can just see that I've added some of the parsley and the tomato pasta sauce, and I'm just heating it up. Now, the joy of this recipe is the mushrooms cook really fast and the sauce is already cooked, so it just needs heating up a little bit before we add it to the squash. We're going to add the vegan butter. Now this just adds a little bit more richness to the sauce, and the difference is, I always find quite amazing, and it will taste amazing once it's finished. So I've just taken the squash halves out of the oven and they're nice and soft, and now we're going to fill it up with the filling, add the cheese, and then pop it back in the oven. Now I did do a little taster of it, and obviously it's a pre-bought sauce, so it will depend on the sauce, but I'm going to add a little bit of sugar into this. That is just, it's a little bit on the tangy side, and it might be okay for some people, but I just prefer just like I take the edge off it a little bit. So now what we're going to do is just really simply just fill up. Add quite a generous portion. We've got enough to go around to actually fill up your lovely cooked soft squash. I'm just getting the last little bits out. Okay. And once we've done that, very simply, we just top with cheese. Obviously this is vegan cheese, but you can use normal cheese as well if you've got someone who's vegetarian rather than vegan. But be quite generous with it, because this is a sort of cheddar cheddar fake cheese, I should say. So it's actually got a really good taste to it, but just be quite generous with it on top, because that's just going to really help bring in some flavour. And now they're ready to go back into the oven. So just remember, everything's pretty much cooked now. It's just the cheese that we're going to melt, and all the flavours are going to come together. So you might just need 10 or 15 minutes in the oven. Just keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't burn, and then it will be ready to serve. So our squash, I've taken it out of the oven, they look amazing, and all I've done is put them on a serving dish and just put some, what's it called, spinach even around the outside. So just to top it, we're going to use the leftover parsley, just for a little bit more colour on top. And you can be creative with this. If you've got some slices of red radish, you can put it on top too, or some tomatoes or some red pepper. And then also we've got here just some pumpkin seeds. Again, just to dress. If you don't have them, you don't need them. It's just to kind of make it look good. And there you go. And now is my favourite bit of all, is when you can actually get to try what you've made. Let me just try. Oh my God, that's so good. The vegan butter and the vegan cheese, you can't even taste that it's vegan. And the richness of the tomato sauce with that and the squash is absolutely delicious. Now, if you would like to try and make the pasta tomato sauce, or the stuffed squash tomato sauce, I should say, from scratch, then check out the link below.